podcast for you. You'll get golf tips and news off the tour, the review. Come and join us, have some fun.
Welcome to podcast 6 in 2010. As you've just seen, Sven is gone. Pat, what do you say to that? Cheers. Yeah, we got rid of him. He's just too badly behaved. We can't have that. So we sent him home, and he's now back in cold Germany. We are in David Ledbetter's teaching room, which is fairly cool. This is where David Ledbetter does the magic.
It is.
Yes.
It's quite impressive what kind of players have been in this room.
It is, yeah. Everyone's been in here. And me and Pat are in here now.
We are.
On the tour.
On the tour. Yeah, I'm going to do this very quick. Steve Stricker's leading by 5 shots in America. I think that's the last update I could see. Playing really well, so I don't think anyone's going to catch him there. He's just playing too good. And Europe, obviously, very interesting tournament. Lee Westwood, Jimenez up there. There were quite a few players up there. Jimenez won against Lee Westwood in the playoff. Since 6 years, the oldest player to win on European Tour, I think.
Yeah, awesome. Great job. So, anyway, we've got something really interesting this week. We went to see Frank Thomas, who's for 26 years Director of Technology of the USGA, and we talked to Frank about a few things, didn't we? It was absolutely awesome, and we've cut some bits out for you. Let's start with the first one. We asked Frank about, is this the end of technology?
And the average guy, the average golfer, hits the ball 192 yards, and he thinks he hits it 230 yards. And so he plays from the wrong set of tee, and he takes his longest shot with every one of his clubs. I mean, one time he hits a 5-iron 175 yards. One time. Okay? So every time he comes up to 175 yards, out comes that 5-iron. And that's exactly what happened. Even with these drivers, he plays from the wrong set of tees as well, because of his drives. So, but you mustn't forget that there's a charm in looking for the magic club. You must look for the magic club, because if I give you a new driver, you take out that new driver, and you start thinking, man, I can hit that. Not only that, but I paid $500 for this. I can hit that. And so now suddenly you get up to that and you hit a few shots, and then you go out the next day and you're with your buddies, and now you're still looking at this driver, and they all say, "Wow, nice new driver." And so you get up there and you make a nice swing. You say, "Wow," and you hit the ball 20 yards further. Genuine, because normally from your worst shot to your best shot with your old clubs is about 30 yards on a drive. But now your brain is no longer in here, your thought process, it's in the club, and you're not thinking about it, and so you make a wonderful swing. And what do? They don't say, "Good swing." They say, "Let me see that driver." Chichi Rodriguez did the same thing. When he first got his great big, and it wasn't his birthday, Big Bertha, he said, "Man," he says, "I hit this ball 20 to 30 yards further than I do with my other driver." He said that 4 years in a row, every time he got a new model. And we took some data on him. He didn't hit the ball 1 foot further in the 4 years.
Could have been 80 yards further.
So we thought that was very interesting.
Good stuff, yeah.
And then we asked him about the new groove rule. So go ahead and watch this.
Now with the new grooves, all right, the new grooves are going to make the club worse than the other one. What golfer is going to say, "I'm going to buy a club that's going to make my game worse"? Huh? You're not going to go along with that. And so that's why they say, okay, and manufacturers, I spoke to Titleist, Vokey, I spoke to the guys at Callaway, I spoke to a couple of. These people are selling wedges now, they're going out of stock. They're just stocking up on all the wedges with the square grooves, you see? Yeah. Because they're not allowed to sell them after December. So here you've got these so that because golfers aren't going to go out. Doesn't really make very much difference.
What do you think about that change? Do you think it's good for golf? Or?
Terrible. Terrible. Terrible for the game of golf, because, for three reasons. First of all, they don't know what the problem really is. That the problem has not been properly defined. A couple of guys up in USGA and RNA, etc., have decided that the guy who hits the ball a long way is not being penalized enough. So really what they're trying to do is roll the ball back. But they don't want to roll the ball back. So they say, anybody who hits the ball a long way, we're going to penalize them now. So they say, how can we penalize? Well, I say, grow the rough like this. That'll penalize them. No, we can't do that. Why not? Because everybody can't grow that amount of rough at their golf courses. For the average golfer, he's not causing a problem anyway, so you don't have to worry about that. So it's only for the championship. Or go ahead and shorten the golf course a little and put a few bunkers in. You can solve the problem, but the problem hasn't been well defined. All right? That's the first thing. Second, there's no evidence that the smaller groove is going to solve the perceived problem. Perceived problem being that the accuracy is not properly correlated with the top 10 money winners. And it used to be before. Okay, these guys are so good, they're going to adjust. Our test in 1987 showed that the difference between square grooves and V grooves out of light rough from about 60 yards was that the ball landed and rolled one was 12 feet, the other was 14 feet. So there was a difference. But the area in which they all landed there versus here was the same. So all you have to do is adjust.
2 feet difference.
Two feet difference out of the light rough at 60 yards on roll on the green from that distance. And not only that, but we found out also that some grass juice on the club face, in some cases, like a 5-iron, actually give you a little bit more spin. Not less. When you get to the 7-iron, that now gives you less spin. And so we discovered that. And I reported, I said, that doesn't make any sense. They would do it again. Do the test again. Show it over again. Then we understand the mechanism, and that's because the ball gets there, it sticks, you wind it up, and it wants to release, and it actually, because of the juice, it can release faster. So you have to but when you get to a 7-iron, there's too much slip before you get it. So the answer is that really we haven't, we cannot improve significantly as far as the grooves are concerned. They haven't defined the problem properly, and the problem exists for 50 people.
Why do they always make changes for the top players in the world and not for the average player? Because surely there's thousands, if not millions, of people play golf, but there's only 50 actually good players.
35 million are affected by 50 people.
And why do they do it, though?
It doesn't make any sense, does it?
So, then we thought that was very interesting again. And last question, the question of the week. What did you think of introduction music?
Yeah. Awesome stuff by Phil. So write us in and tell us, what did you think of that music in the beginning? And obviously a prize for the funniest answer. And we'll see you next time, unfortunately, from cold, Germany. So, see you next time.
Cheers.